Hello, everyone. This is Emmanuel from Spectra Geospatial Marketing and Communication team speaking. We are really happy to welcome you today to this webinar about field to finish with Spectra Geospatial Survey Pro and Survey Office. This webinar will be presented by Piotr. Piotr is a field application engineer based in Poland, working for Trimble Spectra Geospatial for over 10 years. We also have the pleasure to have Gilbert Suzy with us. He's a sales engineer working with Piotr. Gilbert is based in Kenya and will help facilitating the question at the end of this webinar. You are all on listen-only mode. If you have questions, please use the question box. Piotr and Gilbert will answer to them at the end of the presentation. Piotr?
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. Thank you, Emmanuel, for introduction. So that's me. That's how I look like. For the session, I will power off the camera. That will be just easier to follow, I guess. So the session that we are going to have will be we will be covering Survey Pro and Survey Office field to finish idea with the coding. Okay, so let's get started. First, a little bit with the presentation and the agenda that I would like to cover for the subject today. Well, first of all, I would say that this webinar that we have today is a kind of continuation of what Joe Sass has done before within his Ask Joe webinars. He has covered the introduction to Survey Pro coding and linework, and this you can actually see on the YouTube channel that for Spectra Geospatial that we have. So I would invite you to go to a YouTube channel and watch the videos over there for the introduction for the coding. So for this session that we are going to have today, I will just make a short review of what was said before, and then I would like to show you some general examples of the coding in Survey Pro and how to measure with codes in Survey Pro. And after that, I would like to go to Survey Office and use the job that has been done in Survey Pro with codes in Survey Office and show you an example of drafting and map deliverables. For questions, type them in the chat panel or in questions panel that you should see with your control panel of GoToWebinar. So a short keyword on our field software on a Survey Pro. So Survey Pro is a field software that, generally speaking, is designed for land surveyors for different type of surveying jobs, construction, land surveying, up to a point with the codes, maybe even to some GIS. It's fast, easy, and reliable. It's a very major product. It works with mechanical total stations, robotic total stations, GNSS receivers, and digital levels from Spectra Geospatial, from Trimble, and also from other brands. It's a complete set of features for data collection, for staking, road layout, DTM creation, and DTM stakeout. It's also equipped with dynamic map for active background maps such as DXF. What is Survey Office? On the other hand, Survey Office is our dedicated office suite for a PC, computers. It's a complete package for survey and GIS professionals that you can create different type of deliverables. And as a summary, I may say that it's designed for control survey, field to finish applications, GIS and survey workflows, data preparations, drafting. Then you can also use point clouds and work with point clouds from terrestrial and aerial photogrammetry. We have a scanning module and also tunneling and corridors. So a short review on the line work generation in Survey Pro. I would start with this, that codes in Survey Pro are based on a feature definition library. That's a special kind of file that is connected to your standard job. And with this file, you can actually create attach features to points, lines, and polygons. You can automatically draw lines and polygons, put these lines and polygons on a specific layers. To draw features automatically, we have some control codes. And if you look on this screen here, there are some different categories with features presented that we may have some point feature definition, line feature definition, polygon feature definition, block feature definition, and then I can also have some line control codes and block control codes to create them automatically within Survey Pro. Yeah, just a short summary. For the lines, I can start line with the control codes, end lines, join points, ignore points, then start tangential, end tangential arcs, same for non-tangential arcs. Then I can also draw some circles and apply horizontal, vertical offsets to an existing, to the line that I am actually measuring, and also start action for smooth curves. So just example of the point codes used in the system, that there are 2 points, number 3 and number 5, drawn with special codes like WV and nail, and they automatically go to a specific layer. Then when we use line, in this example, we use the code FL, which is a line type of code, and this line is automatically drawn. But on point number 3, I actually have a tangential arc, start of a tangential arc. Then same example for the building here, that we have line feature we've used on a point number 4 tangential arc, on point number 5 ignore point, so it's not connected to the line but still with the building point. And now I will move to Survey Pro to show you one job that I have actually created myself with some feature codes. So that's a line automatically drawn. It's a fence, actually, it's a wooden fence. That line has been automatically drawn. There is also a building, so another line. We also have some points measured with special code, BT, that's actually broadleaf tree, that was collected, but the symbol of points is not drawn automatically in Survey Pro, that has to go to Survey Office. So how to work with codes in Survey Pro? Basically, this can be done from map. When you measure, you can just start typing the name of the code that you are going to use. So if I can remember the code, I can just type it here. If I do not remember my code, I can just start typing the description of it, like for example, pipe. And then I can select from this drop-down menu from the selection list a specific code that I would like to use. Then I can also extend this menu and pick the code from the codes that I have previously used, or go to edit, edit code, and then select what kind of control code it would be. Might be starting line, tangential arcs, non-tangential arcs, join to point, ignore points, smooth curves, rectangles, circles, and then also horizontal and vertical offsets. So that's the one place when you can actually use the code to draw a line automatically or points for symbols. Another option is under data collection. Let's start demo. So I'm actually using Survey Pro with the demo mode simulating measurements. So let's just set up base station. Another place is actually for codes under data collection, right? So again, I can just choose my codes, measure, and then it will measure if the projection is good. And the very interesting option here is also in survey quick codes. This feature, this option in Survey Pro allows you to assign a specific feature to your to these buttons that are available on the screen, right? So if I just right mouse click on press and hold on this button, I can add an pad here that is actually polygon. To 5, I can add, for example, a brush, and I can also use other empty spaces or replace already existing with some other codes, right? So by the way, aside any of these blocks here, you will see also a numeric value that corresponds to the numeric key on your keyboard. So in case you work, for example, with Ranger 7, you can just press 7 to measure, to start measuring a wing actually here. I may have a multiple codes pages, so that's something that I have here. I can go and create new one. Let's say my codes 2 for the name, and then I have empty spaces to connect a second batch of codes that can be used in the field, right? So that's in general how you would measure with codes, just on map, on quick codes, or with standard data collection. Then to mention just where the codes are and how the code line work looks like, it's actually here. If we go to code line work, I can view the elements that have been measured with this particular codes, right? Okay, so that's how features, how codes are used in Survey Pro. So now I would like to use the same job in Survey Office and show how this works inside Survey Office. So that's an empty job in Survey Office just created. So I'm going to import demo files. So that's under my documents, examples. This job here, that's a survey job with the feature code that I would like to use. So I just take both and import them into the system. There are some warnings which we can view. So some files are missing. That's actually not important for the content of this webinar. So when imported, you will see some measurements done with GNSS system and also with total stations. So the blue ones are GNSS measurements, and the green one is total station, focus 35 actually. So to increase the visibility, I'm just going to go here to view filter manager and power off the RTK vectors and my total station measurements, because what I would like to do actually is now to automatically create map based on the codes I have used in this job. That's the same job that you could see in Survey Pro. So to process the feature codes, I just go to Survey, select Process Feature Codes, select the imported file that I would like to process and press process features, right? So that's it. So that's the job done, map automatically created. You can also view a report of what happened with this processing, because this is an automated process. So Survey Office launches a report just to give you an overview of what happened. For some of the features, some attributes were not added, so we should probably have some changes in the system. So the codes are created. So we have a building, there is a wooden fence, and some other objects here, like driveway here. So once you click on any of these objects, you will have properties, and if needed, the feature code can be changed here. Or the styles of lines or scaling can be also changed. So for example, let's go somewhere here. So there is some small tree drawn here. So if I select on this one, it says that this is a city. By extending this one, I can actually see it's a conifer tree code, and I do not have a spread here for my tree, so I can say that it's like 2 meters. And I can actually change my trunk size if needed. So it's 2 meters spread, and if needed, I can also change what kind of conifer tree it is. Let's take cedar. Okay, and then when you reprocess features after editing, you actually also see the changes in the system. There is same thing for this driveway, for example. I would like to connect this driveway actually to these 2 points that are here. So I can do it just by selecting point 1 or 2. It has some codes like wooden fence, and it's also starting a gate code. Like if I know the code, I can just type it manually here. So I would like to connect to this feature which is here. So just select point number 15. This is DW, like driveway, and I can just type it here that I would like to connect this point to my driveway. Okay, then that's edited. And now for 101, I can actually extend this one, and so add the driveway, and I will also like to connect this point also. So I'm going to go to my category, select my line control codes, check what is my joint point for connecting points. So just joint point, and we'll add 116. So in this way, I actually redraw the drawing, and I have my drawing corrected. Right. So that's in short how to process codes in Survey Office. There's plenty of other features that we can do. For example, by extending the option, I can go to a feature spreadsheet and view elements that are inside map, like for example, broadleaf trees. Select all. Oh, sorry, that's not what I wanted to do. Broadleaf tree, apply, and then I can see all points that have been measured and all features that are inside this specific code, right? So I have trunk, spread, type, and other features. If I select something else like building, all right, applied, and I have my building information, which is a polygon. So that's also a filtering of the features. So what I would like to do now is actually to show you how to create map based on these feature codes and based on this job that came here from Survey Pro. And for this one, we'll actually use some drafting tools. Drafting section available here. First, what I'm going to do, I will bring here some drafting templates that we have delivered with Survey Pro. There is plenty of them, and for this exercise, I'm going to use an A4 size plan set in a landscape mode, so just drag and drop this one to the system. So that's coming here in my Project Explorer plan sets available here. So if I extend my plan sets and have a look on any of the sheets, which is available here by selecting New Sheets view, there's something predefined. So that's my template of the printout that I would like to have, right? So there is some borders, internal border. You can put a logo into the system, change the descriptions here. Some of the elements are taken automatically, either from the project settings or well, from the project settings, like for example here a coordinate system or a sheet number. But as I'm not going to use my template and change the template anyhow, I'm going to create my own plan set for printouts. So I just go here and select plan set, add. Let's say that I'm going to give a name like sample plan set, and the sheet name inside this plan set will be sample A4 landscape, just for my information. There are some predefined settings that we have in a system for different kind of operations, especially for profiling and cross sections, like for corridors. But here we are going to use the custom and paper size 4 in landscape. Okay, so that's how I create my another sample plan set with a landscape, and then I will go and create new sheet view. Right, so you see now in this landscape I have nothing, so I'm actually going to select the things that I would like to use from my template inside my new created sample. So I just select objects, then say copy to sheet, and we will copy this one to our sample A4 landscape. Apply, and now I should see my, yeah, so I have my copied layout for the printout. So this one I don't need anymore. This can be closed. I don't need feature codes and feature codes report as well. I'm just going to have like a vertical view now. So that's my plan view and that's my printout, right? So nothing here. And actually to add elements to this, I am going to use a Dynaviews. And that's a pretty smart thing to rearrange objects that you would only like to see in your printout. And to work with Dynaviews, you just go here to create a Dynaview. You can just give a name. Let's say that's let's give it like Dynaview 1. I will create a new layer for this one. Well, there are plenty of layers actually here, and some of the layers, they come automatically from the feature definition manager, from a FXL, from a feature definition library file, and some of the layers come from my sheet plan that I have imported into the system. So I'm just going to create a new layer. Let's say I will give a name like Dyna constructs. And now I need to create a frame which will surround my Dynaview. So for this one, yeah, just go to that, then and create a simple polyline. I will put it on a layer like, yeah, I just like create a new layer, new layers, Dyna lines, close. I would like to have a closed line, so I'm starting, let's say, from this. I don't want to have control point, so I'm just going to do something like this maybe, right? So actually you can draw any type of line string to be used as your dyno view. All right, the line is created, so now I'm just selecting this as my frame for a dyno view. And now just scale, right? So you can adopt scale. I think I just put something like 500 and then location, right? So in my sheet view, right? So just put it somewhere maybe here. Then I can rotate if I would like to. But actually, I would like to keep the same rotation as in my plan view. So just hit on create. So that's how I can create my first dyno view. And there is also the storm line here that I would like to also add to my drawing, but on a different location. So I just create another dyno view and I will put it here. And I just need to create a new polyline for whatever name, it doesn't really matter. So then we'll have this one here. Okay. And I'm adding this one here with the location maybe somewhere. Yeah, just put it here. Up. I put it here. And I would like to rotate. I just should put it higher. Higher and then rotate a little bit. Right, so that's my line with a different orientation, actually, just like a preview. So that's how you create dyno views, and then probably you would not be interested to see these frames, right? And that can be just viewed by simply powering them off from a view filter manager from a specific layer, and that's this one, right? So I don't see them anymore. Probably when I would like to have a printout, I'm also not really very much interested in my point IDs, so I can select them as well. So we are closer and closer to our map. Obviously, this text that we have here, like you can just click on any of the text and select change it. Example map, right? The description here, all of this is editable. There are also some automated options that can be added here. All right, so let's bring out some maybe labeling here. So let's label some points here. For example, we label some points first, and just show you how to create the new point label style by selecting new. And then we will choose the font here. So let's say that we are going to use a new style. There are already some styles predefined. They can be in the system or they can be imported with your plan set. So I'm just going here to create a new style just to show. All right, so let's select that we want to use the standard text and the size, let's say 2 millimeters with sheet units. For ground units, I prefer using ground units, sheet units. Okay, so 2 millimeters is fine for me. Then by default, it has a point name and the height as a definition. I can select one of these objects and move it up or down or move it left or right. That's my point. That's a little bit too far for me, so I'm just trying to reduce my gap in between the point and my description, something like maybe 2 millimeters. And then for point, I can actually add prefix if I want. Okay, and for height, for elevation, I can use prefix. I can select display unit suffix, yes or no. We just select use project settings, and then precision I can reduce like centimeters only if that's what I want to do. So that's how you define your point styles. Oh, is it all what I wanted? I just wanted to show you that we can add more features to this. Okay, and then what you can do, just select your style that we have created, and then I will just create the new layers. Yeah, I love layers. I think the more layers, the better. Then it's easier to manage the content of what I create. So just put something like text, and then I can select a point by point. Right now, what? Okay, what happened? Invalid ended. Select point to label. 1 second. Interesting. Yeah, okay, I'm going to use this one, my text layer. Okay, one moment. Well, obviously I am selecting from a plan set from my sheet view. That's not the thing I should choose from my plan view. So right, so that's my point. And now I have my description with a point with name and with the height, right? So I select multiple points also to do it automatic, right? So first point, second point, add, and then I have my description. You will probably see that it's not coming automatically here, but when you just click on refresh all, that this will also appear here. Next thing is that I would like actually to label this line. So same for lines labeling. You can go here to select your label lines. And let's go to a new style. Same like points, I can edit my text style. So I'm just using 2 millimeters. Here, this gap is too large for me. I would like to have this object closer to the line. And instead of having the azimuth, I would like to have my slope. That's more interesting for me. Line slope with the prefix like SL, maybe. Add, right? So then they are here. So line azimuth I have to remove. So that's my slope here. That's what I wanted to do. So now select your segment line to label, but I just first change my layer to text. So obviously we don't select from here, just select from standard plan view. And then you have your line labeled from the beginning to the end. So that's the beginning, that's the end. That's why it's the opposite. All right, so that's how to label lines. Let me close these features before I can actually press refresh, so that labeling is coming here. And the interesting option is also that, for example, you can create some tables like points, for example, and I would like to use control points as my table. And I'm going to have it on the same layer text, standard, or let's go and take something new, right? So there is a place where you can actually edit the table and change it. Text color, okay, by layer. So we can change label type maybe I would like to have easting before northing, and change alignments and surfaces. I can also change text here and manage the table in many different ways. I can edit borders, and now what kind of text I am going to use, and for this one, then I will just create a new style, 2 millimeters. Okay. Oh, maybe let's try something else from the system that was actually imported. Let's say Arial. Oh, we can leave it like this because I wanted to show something more. Okay. And then I'm going to press the location, and then actually I'm going to press this directly on my sheet view, right? Now I have to select which points I would like to select. So if I go to options, I can go to advanced select and for example select all control points from the system, or you can just go and select manually, right? So by pressing control. Did I close? Yeah, I closed the previous. Okay, so again, points, location here, and select points at, right, so this one we don't need, so I'm just going to remove this one. So that's something what I have created. Obviously, it's too large. I would actually like to place it maybe somewhere here. So I have this option to rescale, like try something like this one, and then I have my table in this section. Right. So even if I didn't set properly the height of the text, that's all rescaled automatically. Okay, just power off my point IDs because I don't want to see them really. And the next part is that I would like to put some symbols here. Survey Office gives this option to insert different type of blocks or create blocks. You can use blocks that are defined in the system within that comes with the package of Survey Office, or you can also import symbols from other CAD systems. So to put some symbols into the system, we will just go to input blocks here on the drafting section. And I'm actually going to use some north predefined that we have here. That will be north arrows, scale bars, and maybe symbols. So let's just bring them in by import. And now I can insert some blocks. So I can select, for example, some tree, right? So that's the symbol number 2. And I can insert the symbol on any of the points in the plan view, right? So that's the symbols. I can change elevation, rotation. Of course, for point it doesn't make sense. I can also scale them, X, Y, right? And insert and another symbol and another symbol if needed. Okay, then I can also, I would like to put some scale, right? So let's just put the scale. Yeah, I just wanted to have it here. Okay, let's just put it here for this exercise. And insert, and I can also insert my north arrow. North arrow. Yeah, just put it somewhere here. I'll make it smaller, something like this. this should be fine. Okay, of course I can rotate it also later. So let's insert first, close. I can rotate this by selecting and then rotate, but I don't want to do this because my north is actually here. So I just change the rotation back to 0. That's I know it's here. Right, then I just click on the refresh button to refresh all the changes that have been done in plan view, and now we are ready to print out. So just go to plan sets. Okay, I first have to create a new sheet. That's something I forgot to do at the beginning. Create custom sheet. Okay. Print out 1. Okay, so that's selected. Just going to put it on a PDF. Hit OK, and then you see our results. So this actually concludes what I have prepared for this session. Now we are open for questions. So please type your questions in the chat or questions panel. All right, let's see if there are any. So I hope you will have some questions. Actually, I would like to answer them, but in the meantime, let me come back to our presentation. And as a summary, you see some more or less same jobs done in Survey Office, and that's the original job in Survey Pro. So the benefit of this workflow that I have shown is actually, first of all, you have a field to finish solution coming from Spectra Geospatial. So we offer a field software and in the Office software that allows fields to finish operations, including printouts and reach deliverables. Additionally, you can improve your workflows in the field by using codes and then just automatically with a single click create symbols and styles and lines and layers and features and codes automatically. Actually, descriptions can be also created automatically by feature definition library.
Piotr, if you may, there's a question here.
Okay.
Yeah. Between Survey Pro and Trimble Access, what's the principal difference? The difference between Survey Pro and Trimble Access.
I understand that it comes to using codes, I guess. There is slightly different implementation in both software, but I'm actually not in a position to answer this here. I may write an email to this question back. That's a long subject, actually. There are some differences in the implementations and different behavior also in the field while using codes in both software. They are quite similar up to extent, but not fully the same, I would say.
Okay. Thank you so much. This is something maybe we can be able to get back at individual capacity, maybe through an email to elaborate more. Yeah. So secondly, when using codes, should I use the custom codes or just use my own custom codes? Should I use the one customized in Survey Pro, or I can just use mine? Somebody's asking.
Both can be done. If you use the codes that are inside the feature definition library in the FXL file, let me see if we have some time, so I may actually start the feature definition manager and show you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a predefined library. Like, let's open something here. That's what's coming with the system with Survey Office. And there are all of these predefined features. Like, for example, if I go to Earth and let's select the broadleaf tree, so it will take some time to load. This is not just a code. This is a full feature definition that you have your name, your code, category, point label style, color type by elevation, you have your symbol, and you also have your attributes like height of the tree, diameter of the tree, drip line, and other, right? But all of these features, when you measure the point with these features, with this code, you may add all of these features and add the symbol to automatically drawn. So if you use the FXL library, the feature definition library, with the codes that are predefined, then it will automatically be recognized in Survey Office. But if in a field you will use new created code, that's still possible. It will just not be recognized by Survey Office, and you would have to modify your definition, feature definition library to automatically recognize this, this later on. So in general, in Survey Pro, when we come back to the software, you can use two types of what I'm talking about. So we can use either feature codes, and feature codes are fully equipped with the features and attributes and styles. But if you are interested, you can also use just descriptions. Software allows this, and that can be changed in the settings in Survey Pro under coding. You can select either a code or a description. Description is just text. You will not draw anything in Survey Office based on text. You need to connect an FXL library to draw automatically. I hope this answers this question.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Piotr.
Okay, let's have a last two additions to what I wanted to say is that that's the session that we have today. Tomorrow in the evening at 7 p.m. There will be a session on Survey Mobile for Android. That will be in English. And next week we are going to have a session on Survey Pro and DXF background maps at 1 p.m. Central European Time, and another session for GNSS elevations, geometry, antennas, and that's going to be at 7 p.m. Central European Time. Well, if you are not yet registered for this webinar, webinars, please do so. I think they can be very interesting. So all webinars are available under this link, so spectrageospatial.com 2020-webinars. If you would like to get access to registration and you don't know how to do it, just drop us an email at sales@geospatial.com. There's one more question I can see. From a technical point, Survey Office only works with GNSS or can only be worked with total stations. That's okay what I see, Gilbert, with the questions?
Yes, the question is, Survey Office only works with GNSS, or can this also work with the total station coordinates?
So a Survey Office works with all type of data coming from different kind of instruments. You may import mechanical total station data, robotic total station data, GNSS systems, digital levels, terrestrial scanners data, aerial photogrammetry data. All of this can be imported to the system. So in this particular job, if I go to my road data I can power on my RTK vector, so that's my GNSS job, and that's my total station data. So that's something, the green lines are the measurements taken from the total station.
And actually, sometimes you can, in one project, in one single project, you can have both level data, you can have total station data and GNSS data. It's possible to process this here as well.
Yeah, exactly. Well, in this example, we actually have GNSS and total station. You can also add digital level point clouds. Everything can be done in one single project, and then you can produce some deliverables.
In essence, then you are saying field to office in one complete suite.
Exactly. Yeah.
Correct. Thank you so much, Piotr.
Thank you very much. I think that this concludes this session. Thank you very much for your time and for your attention, and hope to have you back on another coming session.
Thank you so much. You are welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good day. Bye.